What is going on? My name is Randy, and you're watching the Randy Talks Mets channel, guys. What's your latest Mets media? Everything you need to know about the Mets on this channel, guys. Pete Alonso, we got to talk Pete Alonso and the free agency. Should the Mets wait on Pete Alonso? We know that the Mets have a lot of holes to fill. They got a lot of things to do. But will Pete Alonso, he wants that 7-year contract. Will Pete Alonso get that 7-year contract? We know that Pete Alonso had a really, really good year, but does he get that 7-year contract? We know that Scott Boras is his agent, and Scott Boras is going to want so much money. Scott Boras always tries to get his clients the most money. Will Pete Alonso get that 7-year deal? I don't know, but it's going to be interesting, guys. It is going to be interesting. And I want to talk about this. The New York Mets have so many holes to fill. So many holes to fill. You got center field, second base. You got the pitching. You got the bullpen. You got a lot. You got a lot of holes to fill. And this is something that the New York Mets, when it comes to Pete Alonso, is he going to stay? Is he going to go? I think it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens. But you saw what happened at FanFest last year. You saw what happened. And if you didn't, David Stearns was ready to walk away from Pete Alonso. David Stearns was basically saying, listen, we got other players, we got younger players, and if he doesn't come back, then it is what it is. But we did give him a contract. We did offer him a contract. But David Stearns, to me, played that market perfectly because Pete Alonso didn't have that market. Pete Alonso didn't have the big-time market that he thought he was going to have. First of all, he was coming off a down year, a year that he didn't even have 100 RBIs in 2024. Now, this year, in 2025, he had a really, really awesome year. Really awesome year. He hit 270, 30-something home runs with 100 and something RBIs. When it comes to that situation, Pete Alonso deserves a contract, but what type of contract is he going to get? And with the Mets having to do so much, and the news about Tariq Skubal, the news about Freddie Peralta, Hunter Green, multiple guys that we're going to hear about, Sandy Alcantara, we're going to hear so much about these guys. But with this Pete Alonso, can the Mets wait for Pete Alonso? I don't think that they could wait for Pete Alonso. I don't think that they could wait for this market. I don't think that we can be talking about Pete Alonso and the New York Mets in February. Pete Alonso in the New York Mets in January. No. They need to get this done quickly if they can. If they can, get it done quickly. But this is not the Pete Alonso show. This ain't the Pete Alonso show, guys. Okay? He deserves a contract. He deserves a contract with the New York Mets. He deserves a contract in general. He's one of the best sluggers in the game. Sluggers. That's a guy to me. That it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. But is David Stearns willing to go that route? Is David Stearns willing to sign this guy for a 5-year, 6-year, 7-year contract? I don't know. But I don't think that the Mets can wait that long. But to me, I'm offering this deal to Pete Alonso, and I'm giving him 5 years for $150 million. That is what I'm going to give him. Maybe you go a 6-year. Maybe. But that's what I'm going to give him. 5 years, $150 million. That, to me, is a fair offer for Pete Alonso. A guy that's going to be 31 in December. You're going to pay him till he's 36. I'm completely fine with that. Because I think Pete Alonso is a Met that is very important to the New York Mets. He's a guy that is very, very important. He's one of the best power hitters in the game. Guys. But will David Stearns, with his talk about run prevention, with his talk about, with Pete Alonso in the past, I don't know. It's going to be very, very interesting. But what I think, obviously, you got to see the market. You have to see the market. And I think when it comes to Pete Alonso, who is going to be their suitors? Who's going to be the suitors for Pete Alonso? Is it going to be the Giants? I mean, the Giants, their best prospect is a first baseman, and they called them up. So to me, is it the Cubs? The Cubs? You got Michael Bush. So what? I mean, I just don't see the fit there with the Cubs. I don't see the fit there. Boston, maybe. I could see the fit there. Boston, maybe I could see the fit. Because the Boston Red Sox need a first baseman. You don't know if Tristan Casas is going to be healthy. Maybe they want to go a different route and sign a Pete Alonso. And when you think of Pete Alonso, his swing would work perfectly in Fenway. But man, it is going to be interesting. But I think Pete Alonso is going to be loyal to a fault when it comes to the New York Mets. I think he's going to do everything in his power to stay with the New York Mets. He loves it here. He loves it in New York. But does David Stearns love him? I don't know. When it talks about, keeping guys, I think you see the Mets relationship with Edwin Diaz. I could see him coming back quickly. Pete Alonso? I don't know. I don't know when it comes to Pete Alonso because of all the issues that happened before. And in 2023, they offered him a 7-year extension, $153 million. And he didn't take it. So what's going to happen with Pete Alonso? It's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens. Very interesting. But me, I'm giving him this deal. I'm giving him 5 years, $150 million. And if he's not taking that, then maybe he doesn't need to be here. Maybe he doesn't need to be here. But the Mets can't wait. The Mets can't wait for Pete Alonso forever. This is not the Pete Alonso free agency show. I like Pete Alonso. I want him back. But do the Mets want him back? Maybe they do. Give him a fair offer. And if he doesn't take that fair offer, then walk away. Because if you're giving him a fair offer and he wants more money because of Boris, I'm good. I'm okay with Pete Alonso walking away. I am completely fine with that. Because if you give him a fair offer, we as Met fans can't really complain. As Met fans, we can't really complain. They gave him a fair offer. But if he wants to leave, he wants to leave. Aaron Judge took less money to go to the Yankees rather than go to the Giants. And I think Pete Alonso, he's going to be loyal to the Mets. I think he is going to see how his market plays out. But I don't know how many suitors he's going to have. People have talked to me about the Phillies, about the Orioles, about the Reds. About the Angels. Maybe. But it ain't no guarantee. Ain't no guarantee that he has this big market that he thinks he's going to have. But this is a guy that deserves a contract. He's one of the best sluggers in the game. Are the Mets willing to go that route? Are the Mets willing to go that 6 year? Let's say it's the 6th year that he wants. Is David Stearns willing to go that route? Those are good questions, man. If you enjoyed the video, definitely do me a favor, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. My name is Randy. You've just watched the Randy Talks Mets channel. Let's go, Mets.